Hey guys, Tommy here, and welcome to my live reactions to the fifth integrated flight test of SpaceX's Starship launch vehicle. This is the big one today, folks. This is going to be the first attempted catch of the Super Heavy booster using the chopstick arms, assuming everything goes well during the ascent phase of the launch. Very similar flight profile to Flight 4 with the exception of the booster return to launch site. The Super Heavy will return to the launch site while the Starship continues. They're using this graphic again. While the Starship continues through a suborbital hop trajectory and lands in the Indian Ocean, performing the same propulsive flip and landing as they did on Flight 4. Hopefully we get to see the ship land in the water again. I'd really like to see that. Plus, it's daytime over there right now, I think. So we might get a daytime view of the ship re-entering, which will be awesome. And I just realized I've been bumping my mic a lot there as I've been talking. So that's a great view of 33 Raptor 2 engines, which are going to carry Super Heavy and Starship off the pad today, and hopefully will bring Super Heavy back to the launch pad for a successful catch at about 6 minutes after launch. Now, SpaceX have got contingency plans if something does go wrong. The catch will only occur if a command is given from the flight director or from the launch director. The launch director has to give a manual command to the vehicle before it will return back all the way to the chopsticks. Otherwise, the vehicle will fly a almost identical trajectory to that flown by Flight 4. And this is a great shot right now. Wow. The date was better than a dawn launch of Starship. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're at T minus 21 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'll bring you back a little bit closer to liftoff. Oop. Wrong button.
If we end up holding.
I'm back. I moved the camera from that side of the screen to that side of the screen because I realized I was covering up the countdown clock. And now I am covering up the go signs for the weather range in the vehicle, but they're all green. They have said they're working some range issues, trying to get some boats out of the way of the vehicle. But apart from that, we're good to go today, and we're getting close. So I'm going to turn the commentary back on now, and we'll listen in together as we go through the final 6 minutes before the launch of IFT-5. Super excited for this.
After liftoff, they're going to have some pretty special tasks today. If we're going to go through with the catch, they're going to be doing some really detailed inspections just visually of all of the different tower systems, a lot of those things that we upgraded, just to make sure that we are in the right posture to actually proceed with the catch. So they'll be working kind of fast and furious behind the scenes to inform the flight director's manual command to send the booster back. So if we hear that command being sent, that's going to be just the roof's going to come off. That's going to be a really exciting moment. So otherwise, if we don't go today, as you guys talked about, there is a chance. And if we don't send the booster back, we'll do a landing burn and a splashdown in the Gulf. And then that's just another landing burn to gather more data, learn more lessons from, and then we'll come back and try the catch again on the next one. But as of right now,
so that will be sort of
5 minutes.
So they're saying that if there's no catch on this mission, we'll do a catch on IFT-6 with ship 31, booster 13.
Just about 5 minutes away from
I don't think I'd want my first catch booster to be booster 13.
In just a moment, but back over to you,
Tradistophobia for me, but I think
Thanks, Dan. Our rapid iterative development approach has been the basis for all of SpaceX's major innovative advancements, including Falcon, Dragon, and Starlink. Today, we're testing hardware and systems, and we need to know how they perform under the most extreme
spreads
conditions.
out over the ground.
We'd much rather find the bugs now during testing than later on when there's more on the line. And to reiterate, while we do determine an acceptable level of technical risk on our vehicle and pad in order to learn as fast as possible, We accept no compromises when it comes to the safety of the public or our team. So, that is to say, this is only the 5th of many future flight tests of Starship before it becomes fully operational.
You might remember the Starlink
might need to
panels
hurry that
are
up.
incorporated
There's
into Starship, and
a
you
few
can see them
missions
there
on the books
on
for
your screen,
Starship.
those rectangular panels on Starship's nose cone. Starlink brings us the epic views in space.
Oh, so
and
they've
on
actually covered
re-entry,
up the
and also helps
Starlink
deliver us the critical
antennas
flight
with heat
data
shield
engineers
tiles
need
now.
to
That's good
continue
news.
development. In addition to enabling our rapid iteration on Starship, Starlink is also enabling life-saving communication here on Earth. SpaceX is sending tens of thousands of Starlink kits in response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and providing free service through the end of the year to support recovery efforts.
Oh man,
The
that's
Starlink team
so
also
cool.
worked with
An
T-Mobile
onboard
to
view from the
activate
vehicle
our
while it's still on the
direct-to-cell
ground.
satellites to provide basic texting on T-Mobile and emergency alerts for all phones and carriers of those in affected areas. If a phone connects to a Starlink satellite, it will have 1 to 2 bars of signal and show T-Mobile SpaceX in the network name. SpaceX's direct-to-cell constellation has not been fully deployed, so these services are being
It's only like a few
delivered on a
hundred
best-effort basis.
DTC
Starlink is enabling
satellites on
life-saving
orbit.
communication here on Earth and continues to help us push the limits in space. In the short term, by providing great views and real-time data on our next few flights, particularly through re-entry, which historically is a blackout period for all communications.
Not anymore, thanks to Starlink, as she was saying.
All right, so we're coming up on
2 minutes
2 minutes
30.
30 seconds away from launch. We're hearing like there's a pretty good chance we were going to hold it T-minus 40 seconds, but surprise, now it sounds like we might not be. So,
Ooh, yay.
we are just a little over 2 minutes away, so a couple more things going to be happening. We did just close out our propellant load on the ship and the booster, so 10 million pounds of propellant on that vehicle on the pad here at Starbase, getting ready to go. We're going to start clearing out all of the
120
lines
seconds.
basically pushing all of that propellant to the vehicles.
We
Those
are
get cleaned
2
out
minutes
or cleared
away.
out, on the ground before we lift off. We're doing some final checks on the vehicle, the thrust vector control
Yeah.
that we're going to use to
Bit
steer
excited. Getting a bit of excitement
as
again, yeah.
well as the guidance system doing its final alignment, just a lot of our final checkouts. But we are starting to hear that it looks like the range is going to be
90
clear
seconds.
at our liftoff time of 7:25 a.m. Central, 12:25 UTC. So that puts us 1 minute 20 seconds away from launch.
My
Still
heart's
not
going
tracking any
like
technical
a
issues.
mile a
That
minute,
range
man.
clear is the only thing that's been potentially poking at our launch. So I'm going to start to quiet down. We'll hear our flight director for today, Tristan Pierce, give some of the final call-outs.
60
As of
seconds.
right now, we are 1 minute away from liftoff.
All right. Are we going to hold? Let's see. Looks like we're proceeding past it. We're not holding. 30 seconds.
Flight directors go for launch.
We're go for launch. For the last time. Good luck to Super Heavy Booster 12.
Best words you could
Ship
possibly
30.
hear, 20 seconds away from liftoff.
Starship IFT 5. We are 15 seconds. Let's bring it on back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deluge. We have ignition. All 33. And we have liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Wow, look at that with the sun in the background. All right.
Booster after chamber pressure nominal.
Booster Raptor chambers are go.
30 seconds into the flight, the rumble's just starting to reach us here at launch control.
All still go on Super Heavy. We still got 33 out of 33.
Booster and ship,
That
avionics
is the
power,
sound
telemetry nominal.
of 33 Raptor engines.
Booster and ship power and telemetry are nominal. 1,000 kilometers an hour, 7 kilometers in altitude. 33, burning bright.
Q.
Max Q. Should be coming up on throttle up.
Through the maximum aerodynamic pressure, the most stress the vehicle's going to see on the way uphill.
Come on. Oop. Oop. Oh dear. I didn't mean to do that,
All right,
sorry.
our next major milestone coming up, it's going to be hot staging. We're going to see the engines ignite on ship to push it away from the booster.
Oh! Oh my god, things are going, this is going so well. Is that kids? 25 kilometers altitude, 23,000, or 2,500 kilometers per hour.
All right, so hot staging is going to be the next thing coming up. First,
Oh,
we're gonna
wow,
see the
look at
booster's
that.
engines start to shut down.
That is so pretty, man.
We're going to do what's called most engines cut off instead of main engine cut off, because 3 are going to keep going, and then we're going to see the engines on ship ignite.
Okay. Coming up on hot staging.
Right now, the tower team is doing their go, no go.
Right. Come on, come on, come on.
And we might hear some really good words soon, too. All right. You can
Okay.
still see it up behind me.
Bit of a
That is
pitch
one
up.
of
There's the
most
grid
gorgeous
fin
things I've ever
swiveling.
seen in my entire
Most
life.
engines cut
Coming
off.
up on hot staging next.
Ship engine
There's
startup.
most engines
Ship
cut off.
ignition, hot staging confirmed.
Booster,
Stage
booster.
separation.
Boost back
hot
startup.
stage separation confirmed.
Right, let's see. Are we going to go for catch?
Ship under its own power. I'm seeing 6 out of 6 Raptors lit. Hopefully, I got a booster on the way back to me. I'm going to send it to you guys in Hawthorne.
Oh man,
I
that
didn't
was
hear anything whether we're
absolutely
going for a
incredible.
boost.
I loved
The
how the crowd,
Chamber pressure is nominal.
ship
crowd
chambers
here
are
in
good.
Hawthorne all went ooh at that first view of the blue flames from the booster. As you can see there, first stage
Very nice.
is now making its way back to the launch site. Again, we are
Ship avionics power and telemetry nominal.
the booster and the tower are both performing automated checks to make sure we are go
Right,
for the
so we've
booster to
outer
return
10
to the
engines
launch
shut
pad
down.
for that catch. And once
That
those
was
are complete,
normal.
the
Meant
flight
to do that.
director-
Booster, boost back burn, shutdown.
Boost back shutdown.
Flight directors go for booster return.
We're go for booster return. We're going for the catch.
We did hear that the tower is go for catch, so that
We're
was
going
one
for
of
the
two
catch.
criteria we were looking for.
This view
We'll
here,
wait to hear that the go for catch has been sent.
beautiful view here from the ship.
And so exciting to hear that we got a go for booster catch. That means it's going to be a really exciting morning. Again, the booster is making its way back towards now land in order to make that catch attempt in the tower.
This is a view of the booster from the ground.
So incredible to see these views.
I
You
love
can see
that
ship
the
on
fact that they
right-hand
use
side of
tank
your
up
screen.
tank
All
pressure
6
for their
Raptor
orientation on
engines
Super
are,
Heavy.
under full power.
And ship is
Once
still
again,
going well.
The booster is making its way back to the launch site. We are going to try and catch it using the chopsticks on the launch tower, the exact same tower that it just launched from just, wow, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and the booster.
Starship on nominal
And guys,
trajectory.
I can confirm
There's the
the
hot
command
stage ring.
was sent for the booster to come back.
And we have
is
transmitted.
incredible.
Looking up right now.
You can see the hot stage ring.
It's pretty much right overhead of us, and we can see it starting to come down.
Come on,
Can't wait
Booster
for us to
12.
hear the sonic boom through Dan's mic.
Right.
That is going to
So
be
the hot stage ring is
incredible.
going to
It's so
impact
cool to hear the
offshore, but
liftoff.
the booster is using its
And so once
aerodynamics to
again,
guide itself towards the ring
successful
or towards
on-time
the
liftoff of
arms.
Starship Flight 5. The ship has separated.
Ship
from
30
the
is
booster.
still
The
going
booster
like a
there on your
champion.
screen. It
The
is
heat
making
shield
its
looked
way
good on Ship
back
30 as well.
to the launch site. We are going to attempt the catch using the chopsticks. We did hear the confirmation that the command was sent to
There where the hot
tower.
stage ring, it just
We are
flew
go
away.
for catch.
And in order to...
And guys, we should just be about 30 seconds away from our landing burn. It's going to happen in 3 phases. We're going to land 13 engines burn.
Come on.
Follow that velocity. Oh, we can see it.
There it
coming
is!
down through the
Wow, it's
moon.
glowing, man! Look at that!
Booster coming
Look at the
in hot
glowing...
for booster catch.
Look at the glow on the end of it!
13 of those Raptor engines, and this gear
That's
is
so cool, man!
right now.
Okay, landing burn, come on.
How fast this vehicle is moving on the left hand.
Landing burn! Landing burn!
Landing burn.
13 engines.
13 engines on landing burn, down to 3!
Now down to 3 Raptor engines.
Oh my god!
Chopsticks now
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! They did it! They did it! We have caught Super Heavy Booster 12!
This is absolutely insane. On the first ever attempt, we have successfully caught
Oh my god, they did it!
booster back at the launch tower.
What an incredible view!
Are you kidding me?
We got
Dan,
Wow.
I don't know about you, but we're losing our stuff up
Starship
here.
in terminal bed.
Guys, I'm sorry. Like, even in this day and age, what we just saw, that looked like magic. Oh, wow.
Oh god, man, I'm almost in tears!
Must have been insane. We are still going wild over here over this.
Folks, this is a day for the engineering history books. This is a live view of the Super Heavy booster as it has just been successfully caught back at the very same launch tower that it just came from. Dan, I love this. You are reflecting exactly what everybody else here in Hawthorne, except maybe a little bit more.
Little bit of fire in the
synchronized.
in the quick
How
disconnect. I
was
think
that?
that's okay.
We got it. I mean, like,
Ship engines cut off.
I can't even describe that. Oh, by the way, main engine cut off, ship's in orbit, but
Alright, let's roll 31 to the pad, stack it on 12 and go
I'm
again.
shaking right now. That was
Yeah, this is not,
yeah.
I mean,
Let's check in on ship.
it's hard to believe that.
Starship nominal orbit insertion.
All right, exciting news there. It's hard to believe that, booster isn't the only excitement that we have today. Just confirmation there, a gorgeous view of planet Earth behind the ship.
Saved.
And it is now in the orbit that we expected it to. This is just an incredible day.
There,
Live
they're
views
depressing
there.
Super Heavy's
As the
tanks.
booster vents, some pressures there. That is a live view from the top
They're
of the
that's them
tower,
safing
looking
the
at
booster.
chopsticks.
I am still in disbelief. I'm trying to catch my tears just like the chopsticks caught the booster. It has been nonstop since liftoff.
I still can't believe that just happened.
So far this morning, with the booster having completed its job for today, we are going to take a short break for the next 30 minutes. We'll return back at T plus 40 minutes while the ship continues to coast before re-entry.
Oh man, and as with previous flights, Starlink may actually enable us to talk with the ship through re-entry with no communication.
Oh my
blackout.
God, that
We,
is
of
the most
course, are
incredible
still
thing I've
testing
ever
Starlink
seen.
during this phase of flight, so nothing is certain. But if we do have views, we'll be sure to bring those to you live.
Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's re-entry, flip maneuver, landing burn, and splashdown.
And I guess I'll see you then too. What did we just witness? Just a quick update as we pass T plus 30 minutes and 40 seconds. Starship is currently at an altitude of 200 kilometers at a speed of 26,279 kilometers an hour, and we are descending, as you can see there. We have passed our apogee, and we are heading in for our re-entry. I'm still kind of struggling to get over what we saw just 20 or so minutes ago. I have looked on NASA Spaceflight's Starbase Live. Booster 12 is still just hanging out. Literally just hanging out. Still smoking a little bit. It looks like it might have been damaged slightly. There's some damage on one of the chines, but apart from that, it looks grand. It looks like they could stack 31 on top of it and launch it again. It's great. But I will bring you back when we're getting ready to go into re-entry on ship here. So I'll see you then. T plus 34 minutes and 4 seconds. We're on our way down, we're not long, but I wanted to bring your attention to this. By bringing my cursor over. That, my friends, is the moon rising over the Earth's horizon. I thought that was pretty cool. That is Starship's eventual destination. That and a pale red dot. A couple billion miles out in this world, we can't see it anymore. This has been such a good day already. My god. If they get the ship back for re-entry, 10 times better. T plus 42 seconds. We are about 128 miles off the deck, or 128 kilometers off the deck. They did confirm that the booster is safe. The booster is safe, and they're inspecting it, but it looks like it worked fine. All 33 Raptors fired on ascent, all 13 fired on descent, 3 perfect, just perfect. And now we come to the cream, or the cherry on the cake. Re-entry of ship. Now this was a massive success on Flight 4, but they've completely changed the heat shield on Ship 30. And I'm seeing 1 or 2 missing tiles, plus you can see there's some missing tiles here. And damage here maybe, and then something up here. I'm not sure if that's damage or just gap filler.
You can't just thank it enough. And also,
fingers crossed. I'd really like to know what this land we're flying over is.
Additional flap camera views. We've got a really amazing team of avionics, cameras, electronics, software people who made all that possible.
Moving at some clip, like.
Hopefully they're going to give us an even better show on the way in today, as we're coming in at about 5 times the speed of sound.
That's madness. I can't believe what we saw just 30 minutes ago.
Starship is in a good attitude for entry, approaching the entry interface.
Good. Good attitude for entry, and we're approaching the entry interface.
Preparing for re-entry for Starship, and again, that's what Dan was mentioning, those flaps on the vehicle. And if you've been watching us for the last few minutes,
they'll probably repeat this on IFT6
the flaps were
before then moving on to version 2
as it prepares for
on
the of re-entry
IFT7.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we've seen Ship
Re-entry
33
will be
is
enabled by
fully
that
stacked.
heat shield that you see on the bottom half. That heat shield is
To the
made
entire
up of 18,000
SpaceX crew,
hexagonal ceramic tiles,
to the entire
and they are
FAA crew, and the entire
designed to
NASA crew.
insulate the vehicle during
Well
atmospheric entry.
freaking done.
At that
was
point in time,
insane.
temperatures can be as high as 26,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 1,400 degrees Celsius.
All right.
The design
We are
itself
coming up
also
on
permits
100
for
kilometers, the
rapid
Kármán
reuse
line.
with no refurbishment between
we got
flights.
we started to get
fun
plasma
fact
build
that
up,
I think is just incredible in terms of
a couple of kilometers before 100.
Scale,
Question is now,
but
what's going to
the
happen with
heat
Booster
shield
12? I'm assuming
alone on the
they'll
ship
take
has
it
a
down
total
and
mass
inspect it,
of
but will they do a cryo
10.5
test? Will they
tons,
static fire
which
it?
is crazy because these things
Or will they just
are
pull it apart
really
to inspect it, which is quite
they're
possible.
made out of ceramic.
Oh, they have
We
heat
have a
shield tiles
couple of
again.
them here. The one that I'm holding is used on flat surfaces, as let's see if we go that way, because as it's flat,
I
the
am
one that Jesse
seeing some
has is
plasma
kind
begin
of
to
more
build
what
up
you
on the
see
heat
there
shield.
on the side.
Just a very, very slight
And
pink
having these different shapes, the flat version
glow
and the curved
beginning to
version
appear right
allows
around
to cover
the
a
edge
lot
of the ship.
more of the surface area of the vehicle, again, we need to protect every portion of it. So even those curved surfaces, and especially the hinge area, if you watched Flight 4,
Okay,
is
we're
really
definitely
what we
coming
want to
in
make
now.
sure that we protect. And yeah, Kate, these are very,
Super
very lightweight.
But when you put 18,000 of
We're at
them
100
together,
kilometers altitude.
they add up
Flaps
to
are beginning to
10.5
move.
tons, which is incredible. Now, we did mention earlier that the heat shield has been
we're
completely
in, yeah.
reworked.
Has entered the atmosphere, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
We've entered the atmosphere and we're on a nominal trajectory. That's what you love to hear.
Look
Look at that plasma, man.
Full plasma yet, but we are.
I keep seeing like little bits of white from the heat shield, and I keep thinking, wait, why is there engines lit on the booster?
Yeah, this is such a cool sight to see because you really never really have gotten to see this live before.
You didn't see this on the shuttle
flight,
era.
Before Flight 4.
Yeah. And as Kate mentioned, it's getting
Come
a
home
little more
safe
red,
for
as
us,
you can see there on
30.
your screen. That means that heat is building up. But that's exactly what these heat shield tiles are there for, is to protect against this plasma and this really, really extreme heat that the vehicle is going to see for about the next 10 more minutes or so.
Yeah, so the ship will attempt to light the 3 center Raptor engines.
Wow,
And those are the engines that can gimbal or maneuver or point, and they do that to help flip the ship until the engines point down so that it can land using the Raptor's thrust in the ocean. So that will happen after we get through this re-entry period.
I think it's going to be landing in the dark again.
And we also
Damn
might
it.
start to see the flaps actuate a little bit here as the vehicle controls its role during re-entry. That was one of the main learning points from Flight 3. Was
Excuse my
the
language
roll
if I've been
control,
swearing during this,
didn't
but
work quite as well as we wanted it to. We learned that we needed some redundancies.
I
So
don't
we added
have any
more
other
roll
words.
control thrusters, and we'll see those in action as well today, as that was a Flight 3 learning that worked better on Flight 4.
Stables
and
are
still
rock.
enabling that same design today.
Yeah.
Starship has passed through 85 kilometers altitude. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
Good to
Great
hear.
call
We
out, as
switched
Kate
from
mentioned,
thruster
the flaps
base
are
to flap
controlling
base
the
control,
attitude of the
aerodynamic base
vehicle.
control.
And I love these views because it looks so calm. Everything is relative, right? So relative to this camera on the ship, it looks so calm and smooth. But the vehicle is traveling extremely fast. You can see the speed on the bottom
You can see the
right-hand
clouds going
corner
by
of your
beneath.
screen. Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So we also want rapid reusability. So we're doing propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes. And so we will use the engines on
Every time
this
they
vehicle
mention
to help slow the
parachutes
vehicle down for a
on
vertical
Starship,
landing.
I just think of the
Now,
size of the
entry is
parachute
going
you would need to
basically happen
land
in
that
5
thing.
phases.
The whole nose
The
cone
first
would be
is
one
low drag,
giant
that
parachute
lasts
cover.
for about 3 minutes. Next is high heating, and that beginning when heating increases above the heat rate breakup limit. That lasts for about 10 minutes. We then have high dynamic pressure. Starship
I'd really
will
like to
continue
switch
slow down
switch
and
the camera
experience
so we can get a good
increased
view of the
aerodynamic
another
loads
good
during
look at
that
the flap.
phase. And that will happen before reaching Mach 1, about a minute after.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a nominal trajectory.
Okay, so that was phase 2 that he just called out, that I was mentioning. After peak
little
heating
bits
is
of
that dynamic
little bits of
pressure
stuff
around
going by.
Mach 1, and that will
I'm not seeing any super
last
visible
about a
tile
minute after
loss,
leaving the
which is
hypersonic
really
area,
good.
and then we go into subsonic, and
I
then
think
of
I might
course
just be seeing
landing
almost
burn.
fire
Wow,
coming
what
off
an incredible
the
view.
aft flap.
The colors are so amazing, and the colors actually also tell you a little bit about the temperature that the vehicle is seeing as well. So I think that's pretty cool that we get this amazing
There
live
we go.
visual.
Speaking of live visual, the flap, we have more views, more cameras on board Starship, as Dan mentioned a few minutes ago. We are hoping that all 4 flaps will stay more intact than they did last
Well,
time.
yeah,
We did
considering
make
one
some
whole
changes to the
corner
design in
of
order to help enable this.
Starship is now experiencing peak heating, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
Good.
Great news there. that
Someone's apparently
Starship
very
is
happy.
continuing
They're
along
setting
the
off
path
fireworks
that we
behind me. I
intended
don't know
it
if you
to
heard
fly.
that. Someone's apparently very
Keep
happy
track
that
with how fast it's going and how
they pulled
high
off
it
the
is above
catch.
Earth using the display that is there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen.
attitude's rock solid.
Guys, this is where we're really going to see a lot of those improvements from Flight 4 really come into action. Is you guys kind of talked about, so what's called the static arrow, those are kind of the poke out points on the flaps. Those get exposed to some pretty extreme heat environments, and so we added some additional, basically made it a lot more robust for the thermal
Look how
protection.
fast the speed's coming down now. 69 kilometers altitude.
Visuals and stuff like that, we had
This has been a very nice flight so far.
Flight 4, where we intentionally left some out, kept in some backup layers. They're called ablatives, which means they just gradually melt away to help dissipate the heat. And we've got an entire layer of ablative underneath the tiles on this Starship today. So even if you get a gap in a tile or a tile is broken, anything like that, we've got essentially backup options. And what we're really trying to do today is do an on-target landing. As we lost the flaps, you lose a lot of your control, and so we didn't land right on target.
They did lose some of the control authority on the last flight, and so they landed. I think I remember seeing that they landed something like 6 kilometers off target, which is pretty darn good. But
like we're closer to bringing a ship back. Obviously,
don't stop shooting off fireworks while I'm trying to record.
But we just caught a booster.
Yep, you did.
We're gonna start looking real soon at when we can catch a ship.
Oh, that'll be something.
So the view on your left is as a helicopter passes by Dan, bound at Starbase.
That's that helicopter that's been flying around down at Starbase. It was sitting on the highway. I was watching Starbase live. They must be using it to inspect
the ship,
Booster 12.
Basically down toward the flap. The view on the right is looking perpendicular to the flap.
This is great. They're staying steady at the 69 kilometer altitude.
Side, and then a worm's eye view
they picked that
from
intentionally.
the side with that view on the right.
And they're just bleeding off speed. This is brilliant.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Maverick just buzzed the tower. He might be coming back. So
Maverick. That flap is looking solid, man.
Now, these views brought to us by Starlink. It's incredible that we have this high-definition capability. In fact, that view on the left...
Starship is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a good trajectory.
Awesome.
So great news there, hearing that we're about halfway through the peak heating phase. Like I said earlier, this lasts roughly 10-ish minutes. And we did hear earlier that the flaps have control of the vehicle, so also good news there.
I can't tell if that's like the flaps. Oh, it is. I can't tell if that's the flap skin vibrating or if that's
my memory did
plasma
black out
changes
a
in
little
the
bit
plasma
after
field.
booster catch, so I think we had views. But all through the coast phase, we had some beautiful views of planet Earth behind the ship as it was in its orbit.
Yeah. And I also do want to point out on your right-hand screen, we've got a more encompassed view of the flap. As we watched in Flight 4, the hinge area was the area where we got a little bit of that burn through.
I don't see any burn through.
This new camera view on the ship will help us be able to visually see
I think that's liquid
more of what's
oxygen
happening
venting
in that
overboard
area.
and catching
again,
fire in the
we
plasma
have,
field, or
improved our
becoming plasma.
heating tiles, and so hopefully
I'm not
we've
seeing
protected
big
the hinge
streaks
a
of
lot
stuff
better this
coming
time.
out.
Landing chill has started.
Landing
But
chill
again,
has started.
these views are additional.
I barely paid any attention to the ship during its
to the
ascent because I was
data
too
that
busy
we get
focusing on the.
these flight tests that help enable
I was
us
too
to kind
busy
of put
focusing on the
data that we
booster.
get in the computer to the visuals that we see and try and align those and use that for improvements in the future.
Now, we heard a call out there saying that engine chill has begun. This is an indication that we are starting to flow a little bit of the super cold liquid oxygen through the hardware, through the Raptor engine, specifically the turbo pumps, to help ensure that the hardware is at the right temperature before we give a full push, a full flow of propellant at engine startup. So all of that to say, we are getting closer to the landing burn.
We definitely are. And again, if you look at the bottom right hand of your screen, you can see the altitude that the ship is, and it has been slowly making its way closer and closer to Earth. We're currently at about 63 kilometers from planet Earth, and you'll see that number trend lower and lower as we get closer.
This is a game-changing vehicle.
Yeah, this is going to go on
it's a
for a little,
game-changing
actually
launch
a
vehicle,
while
Starship.
longer. We have about 10 minutes or so, roughly, before we execute the landing, the ignition for the landing burn, starting with the landing flip. So we're making a controlled re-entry. This is one of the primary objectives for Starship today, is to demonstrate
I think that's sent
another
Elmo's
controlled
fire.
re-entry, even more controlled
I don't
than
think
what
that's
we saw on Flight
anything
4.
burning off the
And
vehicle.
so
It might be
far,
gap filler.
that is looking good.
Gap filler is just like stuff they put in between the tiles to kind of like seal them down. It was a big problem on the space shuttle.
As we start to really get lower, we're going to start seeing the atmosphere's effects start to take place, and that's when we'll be dropping our speed down closer to the speed of sound. You'll see the flaps start to maneuver.
I think that is the flap
we were
skin
able to do a
actually
landing burn on
vibrating.
Flight 4, which kind of caught all of us off guard. It was pretty incredible
Yeah,
after seeing the flaps survive through.
Didn't expect that
And
at all.
we're going to try and do another one on this flight
I half
today.
expected the
We
vehicle
tweaked
to
it a
not
little
pitch
bit,
up
so
during
we're
the
gonna try and
or just
splash down at
nose down
a
and
little bit of a
nose dive into
gentler
the ocean.
angle this time, instead of just kind of hit the water and fall over. And the goal with that is try and keep the ship intact, and then if we're able to then get some additional video of it, again, that's
Oh my
just
god,
more
could you
data.
imagine
And
just the ship chilling in the
everything
Indian
we can
Ocean?
see,
Like,
everything
yep.
we can get extra, like
Where's
a
my
couple
tugboat?
extra
Take
seconds
me
or
back into
minutes
port.
of
I'm ready to
data
go
coming
again.
from the ship after
Starship has
splashdown.
passed through the peak heating
get
phase
in.
of flight, approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure.
Good, good, good.
All right, we're through peak heating. Coming up is basically max Q part 2, where we're gonna hit kind of that part of the
Look
curve
at the speed dropping now, man.
where we're still moving really fast, and the
Yeah, we are.
atmosphere is just
Down to
dense enough that
17,000
we're
kilometers an hour.
feeling the most pressure.
Ooh,
but
more
hopefully
camera
we're gonna start
views.
feeling a little bit less heat now.
Those aft flap? I think those are the aft flap, or an aft flap at the very top.
Looks like we got more views of each of the flaps on the ship as it's making its way back down to Earth. And we did pass through peak heating and still got really good views throughout that whole period. Typically, during the highest heat on the vehicle, we tend to build up a lot of plasma, and that's typically when we would lose, connection or views of the vehicle. But again, with Starlink, we were able to get some
speed
live
is
views
coming
throughout
down like
that entire process there.
It's coming down like a lift with a cable cut at this point.
And we're coming up. We'll start hearing a couple more milestones in about 4 minutes or so when we start getting down to like the transonic, the subsonic, when we're starting to move closer to and beneath the speed of sound. And I mean, we're getting live views, we're getting live data. We've got a couple
Come on, ship, there you
tests
boy.
on this one today, where we left off some missing tiles again to test some additional backup layers. We also have, I don't know if we can still quite see them in this view, but you may have noticed we had some kind of silvery looking tiles on Starship as well. And those were pretty much standard tiles, but they were wrapped in aluminum. And it was a pretty simplistic, straightforward one where aluminum starts to melt at roughly the same temperature where steel starts to lose its strength, not necessarily melt. And so if we see stuff melting, we know. We know what our steel is going to be.
Well, it's the aft
but,
flaps this time, ladies and
59
gentlemen.
minutes since launch, should be coming up on transonic and everything.
That's
just about
the
3
aft
minutes.
starboard side flap. All right, 30. Let's see if you're as robust as 29 was.
Flaps. We can see, so for those that perhaps didn't catch a glimpse of the vehicle before liftoff, there are 2 flaps at the forward end and 2 flaps at the aft end. The larger camera view that is there on the right-hand side of your screen, that is a view of one of the aft end or the bottom end flaps. We can start to see some heat buildup and peeking through on one of the flaps there in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Dogs barking? Look at how hot you can actually see parts of the
Once again, Starship
heat
now
shield on the
at
body
T+1
glowing.
hour and 9 seconds into its flight today, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. currently about 45 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, now 44. We are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean, about, northwest-ish of Australia. And we are attempting to, as we did on Flight 4, make a
Oh, look at that
flip
heat
maneuver
shield,
as well
man.
as a
Starship is at maximum entry dynamic pressure, remains on a good trajectory.
All right, so that is great news there. Like Dan said earlier,
Whoa,
this
what
is
is going on
basically
at the aft
max
end of
Q
that?
part 2. So this is the greatest amount of aerodynamic loads that the vehicle will experience during its flight. It's coming back through the Earth's atmosphere. It was above the Earth's atmosphere in space where there was no friction. We can obviously see heat as evidence of that friction.
Yeah, you can
buildup.
really see the heat.
The atmosphere is actually helping to slow the vehicle down. If you're watching the
If
telemetry in the bottom
SpaceX was
right-hand
headquartered
side,
in Mexico City, it would be
right-hand corner of your
Latino
screen,
heat.
you can see that speed decelerating rapidly.
5,000 kilometers north, 38 kilometers in altitude.
Now the 4 flaps on the ship help steer the vehicle, and one of the main objectives for the ship today is to demonstrate controlled re-entry during this phase of flight, this re-entry phase.
Let's see what we get for this.
Yeah,
It looks like I didn't see any
6
obvious big
engines on ship, but
pieces of
we
the
only
structure
need 3 of them,
melting
the 3
away like we did
sea-level
on Flight
engines.
4, but there was
We
definitely
will have that flip maneuver happen
a bit of burn
very
through
close
again on the
to
flaps.
touching down for
That's
splashdown.
okay.
We'll do that
This is
flip
a developmental
maneuver,
program.
ignite
That's
those engines, slow the vehicle down
entirely
immediately, and then hopefully have
They've already achieved so much today.
a soft splash. What we call a soft splashdown in the water. It's probably going to feel a little bit harder on the top of the surface of the water, but it'll look pretty gentle.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, we hope to have some more views, even of that phase of the flight. So fingers crossed that we can we can bring those to you. We are hoping to splash down softer than we did last time on Flight 4. Right now, Starship continuing to make its descent back
Starship
to planet
is
Earth.
at Mach 2, remains on a good trajectory.
Mach 2, good trajectory.
All right, great news there. That tells us that the vehicle is traveling twice the speed
Hey, what those
of
heat
sound.
shield upgrades they
So
made are
we will
pretty
then-
bloody
the
good
next
if they're
call-out that we'll hear
in
is
this
that
such
it
good nick
is,
after
traveling about the speed of sound, and then we will hear a call out that it is
The flap
that will
on
be
the front
call-out
here is
that
moving.
It is transonic, and then we will hear another call out saying that it is subsonic, meaning going slower than the speed of sound.
Starship is transonic.
All
There
right,
it is. So at this
we're coming through the sound barrier.
So at this point in time, we say transonic because certain parts of the vehicle, like the flap that you see on your screen, might be experiencing airflow faster than the speed of sound. While other parts of the ship
The
may
ship
be
30's waving
experiencing
at us.
airflow.
Starship is in the subsonic belly flop.
We're in belly
So
flop.
now the entire vehicle is traveling slower than the speed of sound, so subsonic. The crowd here at Mission Control Hawthorne also getting excited, just like us. We're awaiting a water landing. We are going to reignite the 3 engines.
Solid
to
as a
perform that
rock
flip
on
maneuver,
the
and
the
we're
attitude.
basically about a minute and a half, away from the landing flip.
Yeah, the crowd's getting excited here as we get closer.
So
and
that aft
closer to
flap that suffered a bit of burn through is
Again,
still
just
functioning
about a
fine. 'Cause
minute
if
away
the,
from
the aft
expected
flap wasn't working
splashdown,
fine,
so
the
we should see a lot
the vehicle wouldn't be
happening,
holding its attitude like
coming up
this.
here
You'd see the front
shortly.
flaps using
We're
or being
currently
moving around
having
a lot
view
more.
of one of the flaps, and it is a little bit dark on your screen, but hopefully we'll get some good views of the ship as it makes that flip maneuver and touchdown for splashdown.
Yeah,
Yeah, guys, we saw that
More
speed drop
fireworks?
like a rock. So we're doing a belly flip right now, or
Belly
a belly
flip?
flop right now. That's what's kind of, if you saw the high altitude campaign, that's the unique thing about how Starship comes back. So we've bled off pretty much all of the speed we're going to. We're essentially at terminal velocity.
Starship is at 5 kilometers altitude,
then-
remains on target.
Five to go, coming up soon. Landing burn.
3 kilometers. Come on. Come on, 30. Come on. Come on.
2 kilometers away.
Starship is on target, approaching landing burn startup.
All right, let's see
So
what we
keep
get
an
here out of
eye
the landing
on
burn.
the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well. That will be the indicator when the Raptor engines ignite, if we are unable to see that illumination ourselves.
Landing burn startup.
Landing burn. Oh, yes. Yes, very nice.
What a cool view of the reflection of that landing burn.
Oh, wow.
You can see the water.
You can see the water. We're underwater.
Starship has landed.
Starship has landed.
An incredible view. I think it is safe to say we have a ship in the water.
What the hell?
That is a live view from the ocean surface.
What the hell?
What an incredible end to Starship's journey. A live view from a buoy that we had out
Oh my
at the
god, it
landing
landed
zone.
right next to a buoy.
An incredible view.
It landed next to a buoy and then
Landing
blew off.
just about on target as they were calling out.
Is it
That
sinking?
was amazing. And we were not intending to recover any of
It's
the ship's
sinking.
hardware, so that was the best ending that we could have hoped for.
Godspeed, Ship 30. Somebody playing Nearer My
Man.
God to Thee.
I don't think we're going to be able to get a ton of extra video of the heat shield, but we hit the target. We hit the target.
This is so cool, man.
I mean, we hit the target because we had these buoys placed in a pretty specific spot, so wow. What a day. I feel like that's what I get to say. What a day. I mean,
And there she
everything
goes.
started off today with that launch.
I think.
We were able to
Yep,
lift
there she
off
goes.
towards the end of our window, 7:25
Goodbye, Ship 30.
a.m. Central Time. 33 out of 33 Raptors on the way uphill.
What
Successful
an
hot
incredible
stage.
day,
Booster
man.
Came back. We watched it come down right behind us. Watched it get caught. And that broke my brain for a while. I'm really happy we had coast for a bit, but that's first ever booster catch, major step on the way to rapid reusability. And Ship just gave us one heck of a show, making it through a controlled re-entry this time, flaps intact, made it down to the water. Hey, Starships were meant to fly. It
Yeah,
shows how
man, they
flew
really
today.
were.
So let's get ready for the next one. Over to you guys.
Hell yeah.
They were meant to fly, and they were also meant to be caught by Mechazilla.
Yeah.
It's been such an incredible day today. Congratulations to our teammates and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support. And we'll also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Now be sure to follow SpaceX on X for more updates on today's test flight and of course for future Starship news. Today was amazing, but the SpaceX action isn't over yet. Soon Falcon Heavy will launch NASA's Europa Clipper, and we're also going to be returning Dragon back to Earth with NASA's Crew 8 astronauts. So congratulations again to the SpaceX team. What an amazing launch and an even cooler catch. Thank you for watching, but we're going to leave you with an awesome recap of what has been the most epic day.
Oh, this should be so good. Oh, man. I don't see where the chine damage happened. There's damage to the chines. I don't see where that happened. That was perfect. That was just perfect, man. There's no other words for that. Look at that. You'll get your turn soon, Tarby. Don't you worry about that. There's a WB-57 in the background there flying around. For God's sake. Yes, we get it. You call your catch tar Mechazilla. And with that, I think it's about time I did my own outro. What a humongous success. Unmitigated 100% success for SpaceX today. A perfectly nominal ascent, perfectly nominal boost back, descent, landing, and catch of the Super Heavy booster on the launch tower for the first time in Boca Chica, Texas. Starship, perfectly nominal coast. Really, really good re-entry. I didn't see any major melting or anything coming off the ship. There looked like there might have been a little bit of burn through on the aft flaps. But apart from that, it looked perfectly normal. A great landing burn for Starship. And then they must have landed like right on target, because we got to see the ship in the water exploding after it tipped over. I hope we get a proper longer cut of that footage from the buoy, because I want to see what the ship looked like when it landed, because it looked like we were underwater for a second. So I want to see what attitude the ship was in when it landed. But all in all, an incredible day. We now have two at least partially reusable launch vehicles in Starship and Falcon 9/Falcon Heavy. But that's not the only one that could be coming online very soon. Join me for my next live review. Should be my next live reaction for Blue Origin New Glenn Flight 1. That'll be one to watch as well. But SpaceX has successfully completed the IFT-5 mission. Roll on IFT-6. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.